Augustine said that the world is a book, and those who do not travel only read a page. But with the current pandemic situation, can we do it? Can you? The answer is yes. Don't worry, because today, the Santo Niño Publishing House has prepared something for you. Good day, everyone. Good day, Kurt.
Good day, Sheila. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you all to the online book launch of Father Mamerto Alfeche, OSA. It is our great pleasure this afternoon to have another author who will share to us his experiences, knowledge, and expertise through his newly written books.
Actually, Kurt, this is already the second book launch of the Santo Niño Publishing House. And today, we will be launching not just one, but two books, and both of which are written by our very own Augustinian author. This book launch is a collaboration of the University of San Agustin, Iloilo, the Philippine Augustinian Development Office, through the Santo Niño Publishing House, and the Basilica Minore del Santo Niño de Cebu Media Center. And later on, we will be revealing the titles of the books and our author. But Kurt, I bet you have some reminders for our guests and participants.
Yes, Sheila, before we formally start the event, I have some few reminders for everyone here this afternoon. May I request the Zoom participants to ensure that you have stable internet connectivity for you to be able to stay until the end of the event. Number two, kindly mute your microphone if it is not your turn to speak. And number three, if you have any concerns and questions, you can send your message directly to the moderator of the event in the chat box and kindly wait for the response. And lastly, in the time of the open forum or question and answer portion, you may also type your questions to the chat box or click the raise hand button. So I guess that's just the reminders, Sheila.
Yes, Kurt, thank you. So again, we would like to remind all our Zoom participants to please or kindly mute your microphones when you are not recognized to speak. And later on, if you want to ask questions, please click the button, the raise hand button. Also, we'd like to greet everyone who are watching us via Facebook across the different platforms or different Facebook pages under the Order of St. Augustine, Province of Santo Niño de Cebu, Philippines. Hi, maayong hapon, maayong adlaw, good day, kung asa man mo dapita karon. So without further ado, to officially start our program, let us put ourselves in the holy presence of the Lord as we will have our opening prayer followed by the Philippine National Anthem, which will be led by the Coro Liturgico Agustino of the University of San Agustin, Iloilo.
Stay Bayang magiliw, pero sa silanganan, alab ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupig, di ka pasisiil, sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong mukha. May nilagang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal, ang kislap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagniningin. Ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magdidilim. Lupa ng araw ng wala't ipagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya na pag may mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Start off, let us acknowledge everyone's presence, especially to our very special guests and participants who are joining us here today.
Starting with Reverend Father Mamerto Alfeche, OSA, our author for this afternoon's book launch, My Two Families, and Ang Kabuhi ni San Agustin.
We have Father Jonas Mejares, OSA, currently the prior of the University of San Agustin, Iloilo Community, and he is also serving as the Vice President for the Agustinian Formation and Mission and the coordinator of the Institute of Foreign Languages in the same university.
We have Reverend Father Jose Rene de la Riarte, OSA, or also known as Father Bong, the Provincial Treasurer of the Order of St. Augustine of the Philippine Province and the Executive Director of the PADO.
And of course, we have Coro Liturgico, one of the choral groups from the University of San Agustin, Iloilo. It was established in 2015 and still continues to serve the Lord amidst the current pandemic situation via online.
We also have Miss Mona Pico, one of our book readers later on.
We have Mr. Eric Divina Gracia. He is an artistic director of the University of San Agustin, Iloilo, and a former awardee of the 10 Outstanding Students of the Philippines, and he is a writer and a debater.
We also have Mr. Kenneth Lirona, the nephew of our author and an experienced marketing and communications professional, and the author of the introduction of the book, My Two Families.
And we have Mr. Emmanuel Lerona, a lecturer at the University of the Philippines in Visayas, or UPV, and he is a cinematographer, documentary journalist, layout artist of the books, My Two Families, and Ang Kabuhi ni San Agustin, and he is also a nephew of Father Alfeche.
We also have Attorney Jobert Peña Florida, the former Hermano Mayor of Iloilo Dinagyang Festival for 2 years, and the former president of Iloilo Festival Foundation Incorporated, and the former editor-in-chief of the Agustinian Mirror and the Agustinian Eagle.
And we have also Mrs. Rhea Peña Florida, the former Hermana Mayor of Iloilo Dinagyang Festival for 2 years, and is the vice president of Fiesta Souvenirs One Stop Shop.
We have Mrs. Maria Teresa, the municipal vice mayor of Anilao, Iloilo, and the former president of Iloilo League of Mayors and former president of Zonta 2 Club of Iloilo City.
We have Mr. Jonel Saludes, the executive vice president for research and international relations of the University of San Agustin and DOST Balik scientist.
We have Mr. Gerardo Muyela, the pianist and the academic supervisor of Conservatory Music of the University of San Agustin, a composer and arranger.
We have Mr. Benny Castillon, the conductor of Coro Liturgico of the University of San Agustin and of Grand Choir of Archdiocese of Haro, Iloilo, and an awardee, 100 Outstanding Augustinians of the Century, and a composer.
We have Dr. John Eremil Teodoro, a multi-awarded writer, poet, literary critic, and a cultural scholar writing in Filipino, Kinaraya, and Hiligaynon.
We have Dr. Alice Sonkua, an active consultant of the Department of OB at the San Juan de Dios Hospital.
We also have Dr. Genevieve Asenjo, a multi-awarded poet, novelist, and translator of literary and a literary scholar in Kinaraya, Hiligaynon, and Filipino. Also, we'd like to acknowledge everyone who are here via Zoom joining us for today's launching, and to those guests and participants streaming with us via Facebook and the YouTube channel of the different social media platforms under the Agustinian province of Santo Niño de Cebu, Philippines. Special mention as well to our prior provincial, to the PADO team, the technical team, everyone who's joining us this afternoon. At this juncture, to give us the brief background of Santo Niño de Cebu Publishing House and welcome remarks for today's activity, may we welcome the Deputy Director of the Philippine Augustinians Development Office Incorporated, or PADO, Ms. Carmelita M. Egot, RSW. A virtual round of applause, please.
Our distinguished guests, partners, benefactors, supporters, and friends, a pleasant and good day to all of you. As the deputy of our esteemed head of office, Father Jose Rene C. de la Riarte, OSA, or Father Bong to most of us, it's my privilege and pleasure on behalf of the Philippine Agustinians Development Office, or PADO, to welcome you here today. We are delighted to have all of you with us to participate in our online launching for the books, namely My Two Families, a Memoir, and Ang Kabuhi ni San Agustin, both written by Father Mamerto Alfeche, OSA. Thank you for gracing us with your virtual presence on a weekend, which serves to remind us on just how important this event is for all of us. The Santo Niño de Cebu Publishing House, SNPH, a resource generation project of PADO, the technical assistance arm of the Philippine Agustinian Province, commits to serve the mission areas from its revenue sources by publishing books and reading materials to propagate the faith and promote the use of local languages for a viable, vibrant, and diverse Catholic publishing environment. Our task in PADO SNPH is to make this possible, and with your all-out support, we believe we can, and we are making it happen right now, this moment. Our book's author, Father Alfeche, has lived as a religious Augustinian for over 50 years, having a rich academic background and with a very distinguished career in the Augustinian institutions. SNPH is surely honored and proud to publish his two books and to launch it today. So prepare yourself to be challenged, excited, and inspired with what we have in store for you. I want to say once more, on behalf of the PADO Santo Niño de Cebu Publishing House, welcome. It's wonderful to see you all in this virtual event. Thank you.
Thank you for giving us a background of SNPH, Miss Mimi. And now, to give us his message of support to our author, whom he is also working with in the same institution, may we have the prior of the University of San Agustin, Iloilo Community, Reverend Father Jonas M. Harris, OSA.
Good afternoon, everyone, and greetings from the University of San Agustin, the community and the institution where the author of the two books that are about to be launched is presently assigned. I would like to start by wishing you all my personal best for your health and safety in these challenging and difficult times. Well, I am deeply honored to express a message of support to my brother priest, who I perceive as a tireless religious, a pastor who stands before the people he serves while painting a meaning and giving hope through preaching, writing, and even through his lifestyle with them. Only a man, I should say, imbued with a passion of sharing his own imperfect life and the life of a spiritual founder of the order where he belongs, is capable of providing an avenue for questing hearts to touch, based with the Holy Spirit, who is God's ever-present gift to all who earnestly seek Him. I am convinced of the tremendous contributions that two books written by our brother priest will effect in the reader's journey to a living relationship with God. As we celebrate the 500 years of Christianity, we are grateful that so many gifts are shared and so many possibilities are actualized in the service of the Lord. My support to the author and my blessings to the readers.
Thank you so much, Father Jonas. Truly, Father Alfeche's book is very timely as we celebrate this year the 456 years of Augustinian presence in the Philippines. 4, 5, 6 years, that's very long. And Father Alfeche's book entitled My Two Families, and most especially Ang Kabuhi ni San Agustin, will give us hope, inspiration as we celebrate a milestone event of the Augustinians. Kurt, what do we have next?
So for next in our program, we will have a song to celebrate led by one of the choral groups from the University of San Agustin, Iloilo. This was established in 2015 and still continues to serve the Lord amidst the current pandemic situation via online. Their mission is to enrich, inspire, motivate, and engage its members in hymns and sacred songs in the celebration of the Holy Eucharist and other liturgical celebrations. To give us a song to celebrate our event for today, may we present to you Coro Liturgico Agostino.
introduce our author for this afternoon. Professional, author of the introduction of My Two Families, and of course, he is the nephew of our author. Please help me welcome Mr. Kenneth Lerona.
Can anything good come from Alimujan? Jaime Cardinal Sin was asked when he was told that Alfeche from Alimujan was the father rector of the University of San Agustin. He was probably echoing John 1:46, where Nathanael asked, "Can anything good come from Nazareth?" Father Mamerto Alfeche was born at daybreak at 5 o'clock in the morning on August 17th, 1947 in Solis Street in Iloilo City. His parents were Cornelio Ampalayohan Alfeche, then a city policeman, and Natividad Ambalong Alien, a housekeeper, both from the town of Alimujan in Iloilo. Cornelio was then 37 years old, while his wife Natividad was just 30 years old, both Catholic, when Father Alfeche was born. Father Alfeche is fifth in a brood of 11. In his book, Father Alfeche described that he was born to poor parents, in a poor family, and in a poor family house called Hayub-Hayub or Bahay Kubo. He started his education at the age of 5.5 at the Iloilo Central School. His love and skill for music helped him attend his secondary school in 1959 at the University of San Agustin, where his father then served as a security guard. He took the third-class accommodation in the boat to sail to Manila to go to San Agustin Seminary in Intramuros in 1963. Father Alfeche went to the University of Santo Tomas Central Seminary, where he earned 3 degrees in 3 years' time: Bachelor of Philosophy, Bachelor of Arts in Classical Philosophy, and Licentiate in Philosophy. On September 29, 1977, he flew to Belgium to earn his PhD in Religious Studies from the Catholic University to Leuven. Father Alfeche served the Augustinian order in various capacities. As such, he is recognized as the first Ilonggo president of the University of San Agustin, installed on September 10, 1988. In 2004, he was recognized as one of the 100 outstanding Augustinians of the century, specifically in the field of education. He has published a series of articles on St. Augustine's Theology on the Resurrection of the Body in the Augustiniana in Leuven, Belgium. The book, My Two Families, a Memoir, is his fourth book. Ladies and gentlemen, Father Mamerto Alfeche, a son, a brother, an uncle, a priest, an academician, an administrator, a friend, a human, God's creation. Let's listen to his stories today.
Thank you, Mr. Kenneth Lerona, for that informative and wonderful introduction of Father Alfeche. To proceed with our program, may we have now the first book, which is a memoir book of Father Alfeche's life experiences, being an ordinary child to becoming an Augustinian priest. May I call in Mr. Eric Vinagracia to share to us an excerpt of My Two Families.
I was president of the University of San Agustin for 8 years, from September 10, 1988 until April 13, 1992, and from May 1, 1996 until March 30, 2000. I was homegrown, and I was considered as the first Ilonggo president of the University of San Agustin. As the new president, in my installation address, I made it clear to everyone that my priority was to build the members of the university into a community with minds and hearts intent upon God. I believe that harmony among members would lead the university to achieve its goals and objectives. I asked everyone to board with me on the same ship in order to sail on the rough seas. After 2 years of my term, the university began to make a turnaround financially. At that time, the employees appeared to be contented with the turn of events. At least they saw a ray of hope for the university. Henceforth, managing the university became a bit easier. To encourage research works among the faculty members, I fathered the professorial chairs in various areas. For these, I raised the necessary funds. I worked for the revision of all school manuals in 1989. I had almost all the school buildings repaired and repainted. The equipment in different laboratories were upgraded. The clinical laboratory was expanded and provided with the latest model of existing machines. I started making international linkages with other universities here and abroad because globalization was the trend then for academic institutions here in our country and abroad. We became an official member of the Association of Southeast Asian Colleges and Universities in 1988 through the sponsorship of the University of Santo Tomas of Manila and of the Providence University of Taichung, Taiwan. It was the first time that our university started to have international linkages. After my term, I left behind a considerable amount of savings with the next administration for the smooth operation of the university.
Thank you so much, Sir Eric, for that book reading of My Two Families. At this point in time, let's have first an icebreaker. I know all our participants, our guests, are very excited to win a copy, no, first copies of our books this afternoon. So we have the books. So you can also see it in our virtual backgrounds. So first trivia for this afternoon, but before that, the winner will be selected by those who would first comment the correct answer both here in Zoom. So we have one winner from Zoom and another from our Facebook live participants. So you will have a chance to win a copy, a signed copy of our books from our author, Father Alfeche. So first, are you guys ready? Kurt, are you already ready for our trivia?
Yes, definitely, Sheila.
Okay, so I bet everyone's all set. So first, our question number 1 is, what are the books that will be launched today? So the titles of the 2 books that will be launched today are Blank and Blank. Okay? So we've been mentioning this a while ago, Kurt, no, na dili lang kay usa ka libro, not just one book, but we will be launching 2 books this afternoon, and you already have the clue in our virtual background. So comment it down below, comment it in our chat box sa Zoom. For those who are tuning with us or joining us via Facebook, comment it in our Facebook live, the correct answer or the titles of our books today. So our technical committee, our partner committee, will be checking for winners. So Kurt, what's our next trivia question for today?
For our next trivia question, very easy if you guys listen to what we have been saying kanina. So For the next trivia question, who is the author of our 2 books? So who is the author of our 2 books?
For sure, the title of the books are already being flashed on the screen. So promise magunhanay na jud ni magunhanay na ni kinsa ang makadaog, because you were already given a hint through question number 2. So sa mga Facebook Live participants, it's very clear on your screens the 2 titles of the books. And now for our second question, we have the name of the author of our books that will be launched this afternoon. So I guess everyone's ready. Segue ko lang, baka naman, Father Kurt, baka naman bigyan tayo ng signed copy dyan because we cannot participate. So, Father
Sana nga po.
Alfeche, yes, manifesting signed copies. Okay, so for our Facebook Live participants, please do not forget, if you'd like to post, share our event this afternoon, please use our official hashtags. Hashtag SNPH, hashtag AugustiniansPH, hashtag OSA Cebu. So yun. So para dali na to matrace, so we can easily check your comments, your reactions, and your answers to our trivia this afternoon. Okay, so na-hype na siguro, no? We are already hyped, we're already energized. Now, because a while ago, we already heard an excerpt of the book, My Two Families. For our second book, it is a biography of the spiritual founder of the Order of St. Agustin, which is written in Hiligaynon Kinaraya language, a language spoken in Panay area of the Philippines. To read to us an excerpt of this book, may we have Miss Mona Pico. A virtual round of applause, please.
Tuhoy sa pagpagamon sa pagpasulod sa mga kababaihan. Wala sing babayi nga iya ginpagamon sa pagsulod sa iya balay. Wala siya sing ginpatiner, bisan pagani ang iya utod nga babayi nga isa kabalo, nga nag-alagad sa Dios kag nagkabuhi na sing madamo nga mga tinuig bilang superioras sang mga mungha, tubtub sa adlaw sang iya kamatayon. Amuman, iya gindumilian ang mga kabataan nga babayi sang iya utod nga lalaki, nga nag-alagad man sa Dios. Sa tuod, iya ginsiling nga wala sing malain nga suspetsya nga pwede magatuhaw, bangod kay ang mga nagtiner, iya man lang utod kag mga kahinablusan, ugaling yadtong mga kababayihan, kung wala man lang sila sing mga importante nga kinahanglanon, hindi pwede nga isugtan nga magtiner upod sa iya, bangod kay ini pwede magmangin kabangdanan sang iskandalo, kag sang pagkadusmo sang mga maluya. Dugang pa, sa kahigayunan nga may mga lalaki nga gaupod sa obispo o kung sa isa ka klero, kag sa dalayo nila nga pagpabilin, may masiplatan sila nga may isa sa mga babae nga nagpabilin, pwede sila nga pagpangsuspetsahan sang mga tawo, kag pwede sila mahulog sa tawhanon nga pagsulay, kag tamayon nga malain nga mga tawo. Gani, sa amuman nga rason, iya ginhambalan ang mga klero nga bisan ano sila kaputli, hindi sila dapat magsugot nga ang mga babayi magpabilin upod sa ila sa balay, ila binagid kun ang babayi nagaisahanon lang. Ang ana panindugan tuhoy sa mga butang kang panimalay. Ano ang ana ginbaton o kun waay ginbaton sa mga butang nga gintao kag ginpadumara sa simbahan? Gintugyan kag ginsarig na sa mga hamteng kag responsable nga mga klero ang bulos-bulos nga pag-atipan kang edipisyo kag kang tanan nga mga pagkabutang kang simbahan. Beken ti tana ang nagakaput kang liabe, waay tana nagsuksok kang singsing. Ang mga superiores kang monasteryo amo ang naglista kang tanan nga ginbaton kag ginpangtao nga mga butang. Sa kada katapusan kang tuig, ang mga nalista ginpakita kana para nga maman-ana kung pira ang nabaton kag kung pira ang ginpagwa o kung pira ang nabilin nga dapat ipangtao. Waay gid natihandom nga magbakal kang dugang nga mga balay, uma o kun kalupaan. Pay kun swerte nga may mga tawo nga halin sa anda mayad nga kabubuton, nagtao sa simbahan kang sara ka bagay o kung nagpasubli kang titulo, waay na jagin sikway kundi ginmando na nga ibatunon. Pay may naman kami nga mga pagkabuta nga waay naging baton, hindi bangod hindi ja pwede mapuslan kang mga imol, kundi saan na matareng kagpatas nga pagbinag-binag, ang amuto nga mga pagkabutang dapat ipanubli sa mga kabataan, ukon sa mga kaparyentehan, ukon sa mga tapik kang nagtaliwan, bisan hindi ja gusto nga itauto kananda. Kang maubos rin ang pundo kang simbahan, opisyal nga ginpamaan na sa katilingban nga Kristiyano, nga waay rin tanati matao sa mga imol. Para mapamatud-an ang anagin pamaan, nagmando tana nga ang sobra sa mga butang nga ginagamit para sa altar kang Ginoo, kaangay kang mga kalis, itunawon kag itipunon, ibaligya ang anda makita, igasto para sa mga bihag kag sa rake nga mga imol, kag ang sobra itao sa mga may kinahanglanan.
Okay, so thank you so much, Miss Mona, for reading to us an excerpt of the life of Saint Augustine, which is written in Kinaraya or Hiligaynon kag Kinaraya, ang Kabuhi ni San Agustin. So, Kurt, the past few days, no, leading to our virtual book launch, we've posted infographics, games through our official Facebook page of the Santo Niño Publishing House. And today we will be announcing the winners of our trivia questions for the past few days. So Kurt, please do the honor.
Yes, Sheila, I know that the winners are very excited to know their who they are ba. And yeah, so for our first winner of our trivia questions on Facebook, we have Alina Baba. That's his or her Facebook name, Alina Baba. So congratulations, you will receive a copy of the book of Father Alfeche. And Michela, do we have other winners?
Yes, for our second trivia, we have Kay Gabutan, who answered the correct answer, who answered correctly, vocation. So this was the second trivia game that we had, leading to the countdown or leading to our official virtual launching today. Kurt, our last winner for our trivia games the past few days.
For our last winner, we have Moonbeam. That's his or her Facebook name, Moonbeam, for the answering correctly the Saint Augustine of Hippo. And you will also receive a prize from us. And congratulations, winners.
Yeah, so our technical team or the members of PADO, the Santo Niño Publishing House, will send you a private message or a direct message on how to claim or how to avail your prize, which is the copy of the book of either My Two Families and Ang Kabuhi ni San Agustin. Okay, so maayong adlaw, Father Alfeche.
Yung adlaw.
Yes, Father. So, for sure, Father, na-curious na gyud ang ato ang mga listeners, ato ang mga viewers, both sa Zoom and Facebook, of getting to know you, our author. So, Father, a while ago, you've been introduced by your nephew. Now, Father, we wanted to know, what is your inspiration in writing My Two Families and Ang Kabuhi ni San Agustin?
First, my inspiration for the Kabuhi ni San Agustin in Hiligaynon and Kinaraya. Since I started reading about the life of Saint Augustine from my seminary years in the 60s, I have been always enchanted about how the great saint lived his life. In many ways, I could identify something of myself with his. So I thought of reading more about him and his works. During my student days at UST, for my licentiate degree in philosophy, I wrote a thesis on how Augustine tackled the problem of evil. And for my doctoral dissertation in the Catholic University of Louvain, I wrote about his thoughts or ideas and teachings on the dignity of the human flesh or the dignity of the human body as compared with the dignity of the human soul. Thus, both the human body together with the human soul groan for liberation, which would be attained fully only at the resurrection of the body. I am already 74 years old. During these twilight years of my life, I have thought of knowing more about the personal life of Augustine. I therefore picked up his biography written by Posidus, his very close associate and a brother monk who had lived with him and had observed him for around 40 years. I thought that by translating his work in Latin into two languages, the Hiligaynon and the Kinaraya, two of these are my mother tongues, I could spread among my kababayans and Kasimanuas information about Augustine's holiness, about his style of management, about how he addressed the problem of his time, and about many others. So that's the inspiration.
Thank you so much, Father. Serving the Augustinians for more than 50 years indeed is already a milestone. And we are so glad that you decided to publish these two books, and we get to know you more, labi na sa imuhang biography, the My Two Families, and to know better the life of Saint Augustine through ang kabuhi ni San Agustin. So, Kurt, yes, Father.
My inspiration in writing My Two Families. I belong actually to two families. First, to my biological family, and then my second family is the Augustinian order. I cannot isolate my being an Augustinian religious from my being a member of my biological family. I became an Augustinian religious because of my biological family, and I live as an Augustinian religious, bringing with me what I learned and adopted from my biological family. My ways, my character, my manners, and many others. Thus, I have remained and will always be a member of two families, the Alfeche family and the Augustinian family.
Thank you so much, Father. Truly, being a religious, being an Augustinian, you belong to My Two Families. Hence, the title of the book, My Two Families. So, Father, here's another question. So, somebody just sent this na they're quite curious of the painting of the cover of Ang Kabuhi ni San Agustin. So, Father, can we know or what is it all about, the cover design of Ang Kabuhi ni San Agustin?
Actually, that painting came from a public domain source. My nephew, Eman, told me if I would like this painting to replace the original painting of Augustine when he was still a monk. Said, yes, I think that looks like he is 73 years old. And I am now 73 years old. So we had a deal and we chose that painting. Augustine looking 73 years old compared with me looking 73 years old in my two books. So this is Augustine at 73. This is me at 73. Sino ang mas gwapo? Augustine ko ako.
Both, Father. Kayo pong dalawa, Father, because we are all created uniquely, Father, and we all have our own beauty. So tayo pong lahat ay magaganda at gwapo.
Hi.
True, agree, Sheila.
Okay, so Father, you've already discussed to us the inspiration, the cover design of my two families. Of the two books, Father, like what were the challenges upon writing the two books during your stint, especially now we are in the midst of the pandemic? Okay, so before we go back to Father Alfeche, again, we would like to thank everyone for joining us for today's virtual launch. To those who are participating via Zoom, via Facebook Live, thank you for tuning with us regardless of your time zones, of your different locations. And now that we are in the midst of these challenging times, and karon na we're doing an online book launch, these are the things that are beyond our control. Nonetheless, as they say, as the cliche says, the show must go on. So thank you so much once again. And for those who would like to avail a copy of our book, Ang Kabuhi ni San Agustin and My Two Families, please keep posted through the official Facebook page of the Santo Niño de Cebu Publishing House, the Basilica Minore del Santo Niño, and the Order of St. Augustine, as well as the other pages under the province of Santo Niño de Cebu, Philippines for the details. And mind you, SNPH is already on Shopee. So, dali ra kaayo ma-add to cart ang ato ang mga libro, di ba, Kurt?
Yes, Sheila, dali na jud kayo. One click lang, and pwede na dahil ma-add to cart.
And other details, no? So for everyone, yesterday we just had payday, October 15. So fresh pa kaayo. Kung wala tay bills, kay 30 pa man usually mambayad og bills. So we have something to pay for our cart. So unsa pa may atong gihuwat, add to cart na sa Shopee ang Kabuhi ni San Agustin and My Two Families. And for other details, please keep posted through our official Facebook page of the Santo Niño de Cebu Publishing House and the Order of St. Agustin, Province of Santo Niño de Cebu, Philippines, and the Basilica Minore del Santo Niño de Cebu. So, and we're back. We're live. Okay. So, hi, Father. Maayong adlaw again.
We had run out.
Yes. Pero, Father, kuanta siya, Father, respect po to and greetings ato ang mga kaigsuonan nga gabi sad sa ilaha. So, maayong gabi. Karon balik na po ta. Maayong adlaw, Father Alfeche.
Adlaw, ng hapon.
Yes, Father. So we were just discussing a while ago how to avail your books, My Two Families and Ang Kabuhi ni San Agustin. And for those who would like to get the signed copies of Father Alfeche, mismo na ay book sign, we will show later on the virtual signing of Father. And for those nga who would like to avail it, we will just post the details sa ato ang official social media account. So going back, Father, with the two books that you've published, you've written, what were the challenges that you've encountered, most especially in the midst of the pandemic?
In the midst of the pandemic, I had plenty of time to finish my two books. I wrote My Two Families for around a year. But this book, it took me around 3 years. Just to tell you that it is not easy to translate from Latin into Hiligaynon. And
Okay, so we will get back to Father Alfeche later on. So again, for those who would like to avail the copy, please keep posted lang sa official social media accounts. And again, we would like to announce the winners of our trivia games for the past few days leading to our online book launch today. For the first trivia, we have Ali Nababa, her or his Facebook account. For our second trivia, we have Kay Gabutan who answered vocation. And lastly, we have Moonbeam for St. Augustine of Hippo trivia. So, Kurt, before we go back to Father Alfeche, what are your insights so far of today's event that we had this online? How we wish that we can conduct this physically and see the people being with us, sharing the same joy of launching not just one but two books.
Yes, Sheila, I would also love to see everyone here, like we will have a face-to-face book launch unta. Unfortunately, we have the pandemic, but despite everything, all the challenges that we are facing, I think that this event is very, it's inspiring not only to the Agustinians, not only to us, but also to everyone watching right now. And I'm pretty sure that Father Alfeche's experiences and story is also very inspiring to everyone here. So,
Okay, so thank you so much, Kurt. And also, this launch or our launch this afternoon is also a reminder, or it also serves as hope that the books can give us comfort, no, in this time of the pandemic. Reading, it is our source of light, to break the ice, to get away from stress. Get a book, grab a copy with your cup of coffee on the side, and then read it. Then karon now we are already in the season, no, rainy season, the wet season. So it's really good to just be at the corner with your book and a cup of coffee. And again, what other books to grab? We have Ang Kabuhi ni San Agustin and My Two Families. So at this point, we would like to greet our participants from other places. We also would like to greet special greetings to those who are watching us at the University of San Agustin, Iloilo via Facebook and YouTube. Hello, hello. Maayong adlaw to
Hello.
everyone. Yes, Kurt? So, okay, so I guess Father Alfeche is already back
yes,
with
I am.
us via Zoom, and we're live. Okay, so Father Alfeche, maayong adlaw again nimo.
I'm naman ninyo dira Cebu.
Yes, Father.
Just
So,
continuing what I was saying, that it took me around 3 years to finish Ang Kabuhi ni San Agustin. I found it very, very difficult to translate a Latin of the 4th and 5th century into Hiligaynon and Kinaraya. First of all, I don't have a dictionary, Latin, Hiligaynon, and Kinaraya. Second, I could not find experts here in Iloilo to help me. I approached 3 experts, but they were not willing. He said that we are very, very busy with our work. So I tried and tried until I said, I have to finish my work. After all, when I was in Belgium, in Louvain, we translated this biography of Saint Augustine in Latin into Dutch language. So I had the confidence that I still could remember what we did when I was in Belgium. I was guided by 5 experts. We compared our Dutch translation with the translation in Italian, German, Spanish, and English and French. So I think I'm quite confident that my translation is a loyal one in Hiligaynon and in Kinaraya.
Wow, so Father, for 3 years you've been trying, and finally, now we already have the physical copy of your book. We're finally launching it today. And Father, congratulations po.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, so Father, at this point, last question po for our open forum this afternoon. Father, what is your message to our aspiring writers out there who would also like to, or who has that dream of publishing a book someday?
Well, to tell you the truth, I am not a writer. I am not a writer. I find it always very painful to put my ideas into writing. But you know, I always try and attempt. And I don't know why. I came out with 4 books. I have already published several articles. I just don't know. I said, my language is poor. My English could be compared only to the English of high school students. But if you try, you improve. That's what I did. I tried and tried, and before I realized it, I have already produced and published 4 books and several articles in international journals. So that's it. So young writers, my brother priest, write. You have so many talents. I encourage you to put your ideas into writing and publish them. We need writers.
Indeed, Father, we really need writers. And as they say, as the line says, try and try until you succeed, di ba po? So,
Yeah.
so thank you so much, Father Alfeche. So we'll take a short break, and after our short break, we will witness the virtual signing of Father Alfeche for the 2 books, Ang Kabuhi ni San Agustin and My 2 Families. this point in time, let us now witness the virtual signing of Father Alfeche's Ang Kabuhi ni San Agustin and My Two Families. And Father Mamerto Alfeche OSA for the successful launching of Ang Kabuhi ni San Agustin and My Two Families. So we'll take a short break, and after the short break, we will hear the closing remarks of our author, Father Alfeche. Now, at this point in time, let us hear the closing remarks from our author, Reverend Father Mamerto A. Alfeche, OSA.
A pleasant afternoon to each one of you. First of all, I would like to thank each and every one of you who are participating in this launching of my two books. It gives me a very pleasant feeling to know that there are persons who are interested in what I write about. But I would like to let you know that when it comes to writing something serious, I really struggle hard to come out with something maybe worth reading. Despite my shortcomings, I was able to publish 4 books, 2 of which are truly products of serious researches, and the other 2 are translations into my 2 mother languages, the Hiligaynon and the Kinaraya of my native town, Alimodian, Iloilo. I always find it difficult to put into writing my ideas because writing has always been a bloody experience for me. I always seek the assistance of many experts to help me. In writing these two books, which we are launching this afternoon, my two nephews, Ken Lerona Alfeche and his younger brother, Eman Alfeche Lerona, were of great help. Eman, according to many, did a very impressive layout team, while Ken sought the professional help of Miss Genevieve Asenjo, the chair of the De La Salle University Department of Literature, to make a critique, to do some basic corrections, and to give suggestions on how to improve the presentation. The title of my memoir, My Two Families, have caught the attention and curiosity of many and moved them to ask me, Father, how come that you have two families? Well, the title is a product of the merging of two imaginations, that of Ken Lerona and that of Genevieve Asenjo, which I readily and happily adopted. Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Eman. Certainly, the printing and publishing of my two books could not have been possible without the inspiration and the push coming from our prior provincial, Ande Rivera, Father Bong de la Riarte, the director of the Philippine Augustinian Development Office, Father Popoy Vergara, the former Vice President for Academic Affairs of this university, and the staff of the Santo Niño de Cebu Publishing House, especially Madi Medelio and earlier Frankie, under the leadership of Father J.P. Mabanta. Thank you to all of you. I know how expensive it is to publish books. I could not afford the necessary expenses, but many persons of goodwill volunteered to help our province of Santo Niño de Cebu. I am very grateful to these kind-hearted persons. Miss Flor Acacio, Mr. Orlando Xia, and Mrs. Venus del Mundo. They have been consistently helpful in our apostolate. Finally, this virtual ceremony could not have come out fantastic if not for the expertise and participation of the following Augustinians. Father Jonas Mijares, our prior, the coordinator. He is a popular and a very exposed singer and preacher. Mr. Eric Di Vinagracia, a reader of my two families. He is our university artistic director. Miss Mona Pico, a reader of Ang Kabuhi ni San Agustin. She is an assistant professor of this university. Mr. Bimbo Muyuela and Benny Castillon, pianist and singer respectively, who together with their co-singers who are members of the Coro Liturgico and the Troubadours of the University of San Agustin. The friars of this community of San Agustin, our prior, especially Father Jonas, our president of the university, Father Comendador. All the members are collectively in support of this ceremony. Mr. Jan Iremel Teodoro, a Hiligaynon in Canaraya literature, writer and scholar of the LSU. Miss Hyacinth Haya Banquero, Assistant Director of Philanthropic external and alumni relations pair of this university. She is assisting us in this virtual launching as the technical assistant. Father Genesis Labana, Chair of our Social Communication Committee of the Province of Santo Niño de Cebu. Sheila and Kurt are beautiful and handsome masters of ceremony. To all of you, my sincerest gratitude. Friends, I hope you do not forget the purpose of this launching of my two books, My Two Families and the Kabuhi ni San Agustin. They are for sale at the cost of 350 pesos each. Whatever amount we could receive will be used to help finance our missionary apostolates in the remote and poor areas in the country, and also probably to help our seminaries. This will be my modest contribution. By the way, we also accept donations. Again, thank you, and a pleasant afternoon to each and every one of you. God bless us all.
Thank you so much, Father Alfeche. Truly, you serve as an inspiration to everyone, especially to us here this afternoon. And thank you also for making these books come to life, Father, wherein many people from around the world could read and continue to touch other people's lives, Father, through your books. And once again, congratulations, Father Alfeche, on your book launch.
So we would like to request our participants via Zoom to please turn on your cameras while we prepare for our photo opportunity. But while we are preparing, once again, let us give a virtual round of applause to our author, Father Alfeche, for the successful launching of Ang Kabuhi ni San Agustin and My Two Families. But before that, Kurt, I guess the results are in. So please announce the winners of our two trivia questions during today's launching.
Yes, Miss Sheila. So for the trivia questions, for question number 1, we have a winner from SNPH page. Okay, so we have Mrs. Raquel Daria from SNPH page, and from University of San Agustin, we have Claire V. Moico. And yeah, congratulations. For question number 2, we have Mary Joy from University of San Agustin. And we have also again Mrs. Raquel Daria from SNPH page. And we have Dr. Alice Sunkua from Zoom. So she won the 2 questions. Congratulations, winners.
Yun, congratulations to everyone who participated our trivia game a while ago. So now I guess everyone's ready on Zoom. So please turn on your cameras. And at this point, we will now have our photo opportunity. So I guess everyone's ready. Okay. So in 3, 2, 1, please give your most beautiful smiles.
Yes.
Okay, one more. 3, 2, 1, and smile. Okay, so thank you so much for joining today's launching of Ang Kabuhi ni San Agustin and My Two Families. Indeed, in this pandemic situation that we are in, It is not a hindrance for us to conduct events. Distance is not a hindrance. Pandemic is not a hindrance for us to do activities. And to summarize everything that has happened today, let us hear a beautiful song because each one of us or everyone is an Agustinian with the song, Agustino ko, Agustino ka.
Isang mundong ating pangarap, isa ang Diyos saksi sa lahat, isang pag-ibig ang ating ihahayag.
Ating tugtin ang pangako sa hirap at pusong nabibigo, at may pag-asa pang akayin ang lahat tungkol sa karyagan.
Agustino ka, Agustino ako, ating pag-ibig ang lakas ng puso, atin ang napatunayan sa buong mundo. Agustino kang totoo.
Daan-daan ang taong na hinarap, daan-daan ang taong pagsisikap, iisang tibok ng pusong nagmamahal.
Ating tugtin ang pangako sa hirap at pusong nabibigo, at may pag-asa pang akayin ng lahat tugon sa kanyang tawag. Agustino ka, Agustino ako, ating pag-ibig ang lakas ng puso, atin ang napatunayan sa buong mundo. Agustino kang totoo. Ang ating awitin, ang himig natin, ang bigay ng Diyos sa ating puso.
Pag-ibig, paghigugma, ang awitin sa ating puso.
Pagkamuot tayanen ka, ang puraw kan sa kuyang puso. Gugma ko, kalukurang daka, ang kanta sa akong kasing-kasing. Ang awitin sa ating puso, ang awitin sa ating puso.
Ating awitin ng ating himig, sa isang tunog, sa iisang himig, iba-ibang wika, isang bitig. At sino ako? At ako'y pag-ibig. At sino ka? At sino ako? At sino kang totoo?
Agustino ka, Agustino ako, ating pag-ibig ang lakas ng puso, atin ang napatunayan sa buong mundo. Agustino ka, Agustino ka, Agustino